Grand right at 47th Avenue. At Unbound, they don't see poverty, they see potential. That's just one way Unbound is different. Learn more at unbound.com. I'm Danielle, now the Money Radio Weather Center.
Hi everyone, sunny 109 this afternoon. Tonight mostly clear 85. Tomorrow sunny high 108. Sunday mostly sunny high 105. Staff meteorologist John Weatherby, Money Radio 1510 and 99.3 FM.
It's 100 degrees right now, and the Dow is down 42 points at 16,612. S&P down 3 at 1984. The NASDAQ up 4 at 4816. Reporting for Money Radio, I'm Ken Morgan.
The views expressed on the following program do not necessarily reflect the views of Money Radio staff, management, or advertisers, and do not represent an offer to buy or sell any securities. Some interviews heard on this program may be sponsored by the participants. It's time for Health Futures with Cypress Home Care Solutions, Bob Roth. This is Arizona's only show dedicated to providing you with expert advice on how to live a longer, healthier, and happier life. To learn more, call 602-264-8009. That's 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Bob Roth.
Good afternoon. My name is Bob Roth, and you are listening to Health Futures, Taking Stock in You. We're a weekly show found right here on Money Radio, 1510 AM, 99.3 FM, and on the World Wide Web at moneyradio1510.com. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, we're a show about how our aging adult population can live a healthier, happier life. And if you're also just tuning in, I am one of the owners and the managing partner for Cypress Home Care Solutions. We are an in-home care service agency that serves our aging adult population and really enables them to be able to stay at home and live a purposeful, meaningful life as much as they can. And how we do that is we do that with caregivers. And caregivers are a very important part of the opportunity for these individuals, and I call them individuals, they're our clients, but these are incredible people that have lived incredible lives that want to remain independent, and we find these caring, compassionate people that come into the home and care for them. And I want to take a moment and just pause for a second because, we're wrapping up the end of the summer. It's hard to believe this is the last Friday in August. And yeah, you heard it at the top of the hour here. It's 100 degrees. So it's not 110 yet, but it's 100 degrees. It's soupy outside. And next Friday we'll be into September, and we're really getting into our season right now. And for home care agencies, especially employer-based agencies like ours, the season really starts to kick in for us when the snowbirds start to come in, and they start coming in September and October. And I just want to give a shout out to our listeners. If you or someone you know, or you might have a family member out there that is really a caring, compassionate person that wants to make a difference in somebody's life, call us at Cypress Home Care. We're looking for those types of people. And if they've never been a caregiver before, we have this incredible caregiver training lab. We can teach them how to become a caregiver so they can add value to so many people's lives and add value to their life. I mean, it's really amazing to watch a caregiver and a care recipient come together. And it may take a couple hours, it may take a day or two, but the bond is truly special. I like to call it the Cypress magic. But I'm making an appeal out there. We're looking for really good people. And if you know of somebody that is like that is a caring, compassionate person that wants to make a difference in someone's life, call us at Cypress at 602-264-8009, or go out to our website at cypresshomecare.com, and you can fill out an application online. So today, like every day that we have been here on the show, this is our 75th or 76th episode. I said last week we were in the 80s, but we're pretty darn close to that. And we've been on the air for over 21 months, coming up on 22. Our show is about bringing you special guests, bringing our listening audience meaningful guests that can add value to this caring continuum, if you would, because this gentleman here assist people in that caring continuum. And what do I mean specifically? Our aging adult population needs many of them need some assistance, and sometimes those assistance are with in-home care services. Some people call them non-medical, but in-home care services where we assist them. But then there's some needs for other home care services, and they're known as home health care services. So I've invited into the studio today Darryl Lerner, who is a community liaison with Assisted Healthcare Services. Welcome to Health Futures, Darryl.
Thank you, Bob. It's a pleasure to be here.
And it's good to have you here. And, you know, one of the challenges that we run into is so many people lump home care, in-home care services, and home health as one and the same, and they couldn't be further apart and further different. Don't you agree?
No, I totally agree. You know, Cypress Home Care provides an excellent service for people who need caregivers. People say non-medical, but the real focus is people who need assistance in the home, who are receiving services usually from other agencies as well. Cypress is, you know, I've heard great things about Cypress Home Care, helping people with activities for daily living, helping them, you know, go to the store, to be there for the patient or to be there for the client when the family member can't be there 24/7, and allowing someone to still be there in the home. You know, that's a great service and increasing people's quality of life. The company I work for is Assisted Healthcare Services. So we provide medical services in the home. Most people don't know. A lot of people don't know about home health until they actually have to receive home health services. Typically, a person will be in the hospital or a skilled nursing facility, and they will discharge from there with home health services. And that's usually the first time that they learn about what home health is and what home health does. And so, I always feel an informed consumer, right? Always try to make informed decisions. So if you knew about home health before, there wouldn't be the mystery, there wouldn't be the surprise when the discharge planner in the hospital or the nursing home says, we're going to send you home, but you need to go home with home health services. So we provide nursing and therapy in the home to continue the good work that they've experienced in the hospital, the work that they've received, the work that they've done in the skilled nursing facility. We help people get home, just like you help people stay in your home. We help people get home from the hospital. Without home health, a lot of people couldn't go home.
Right.
They would either have to remain in the facility longer or go to a higher level of care. The idea is to provide medical services in the transition to home. So we provide nursing, skilled nursing RNs for home health safety evals. We work with people's medication. Some people go home with IVs, so we do infusion in the home. So there's a whole variety of things. We do wound care in the home. There's a variety of things that our nurses do. We also have therapy. So we have physical therapy and occupational therapy and speech therapy. So our speech and our nurses and our speech therapists and our nurses and the therapists in general work together in concert for a care plan for the patient. We use the information that we receive from the hospital and from skilled nursing facilities to provide services for the patient. And a lot of people don't realize you don't have to come from a hospital. You don't have to be in a skilled nursing facility to get home health services. A lot of people don't realize, for example, the two main guidelines that Medicare says somebody would qualify for home health is, one, they need to be homebound, or two, it has to be a taxing effort to leave the home. So taxing effort, it reminds me of a story. Last month, a friend of mine called me, and he said he couldn't talk. He was in the process of getting his mother to the doctor's office. So I called him later. It was about 45 minutes later, and he said, well, I'm still getting my mother to the doctor's office. I said, what do you mean? He says, well, it takes about half hour, 45 minutes to get her from the chair to the car. And I said, John, that's a taxing effort to leave the house. She could probably benefit from some home health care services. That's a great example of a taxing effort to leave the home. So we get all kinds of patients, all kinds of referrals. Doctor's office refer to us, primary care physicians, refer to us for geriatric patients. Anyone that's independent that has a surgery, like orthopedic surgery, for example, that's a great example of someone that's independent, but because of the surgery, they've had a change in condition, they would qualify for home health services. And we do provide a lot of home health services for orthopedic patients who've had spinal surgery or joint replacement.
So we're coming up on our first break. it's unbelievable, Darryl, how fast it goes. And I want to really talk about, on the second segment, the differences between home health and home care, because even our clinicians and social workers group them together. You got a little Eric Clapton to break up our segment, but I do want you to know that I love that story that you talked about, John. And when we come back, I want you to share other stories, because it really helps our listening audience relate to some of the challenges that so many of their loved ones and family members and friends are dealing with aging or recovering from an injury or an acute illness. You're listening to Health Futures, Taking Stock in You. I've got Darryl Lerner from Assisted Healthcare Services in the studio. We're going to be up here on a break. We'll be right back.
Insure your income, insure your outcomes, and invest the rest with purpose. Learn how to secure your income and grow your wealth with lower risk and less cost. Attend the Mastering Money Financial Seminar on Money Radio. When is it? Well, it's on when you're ready to listen. Every day at 5 or 6 or 7 p.m., you can hear the A-Team, Wealth Manager Steve Jurich and Sinclair No on Mastering Money. Simply download the Mastering Money app for your iPhone or Android. You can also hear the podcast anytime at masteringmoneyradio.com. See you there.
Volatility is coming back into the market. After a few generally peaceful up years in the market, 2015 has already had a number of sharp up and down moves, and these are likely to continue. If you're prepared for it, volatility is opportunity. If you're not, it can quickly wipe out years of gains in your portfolio. Learn how to get on the professional side of the trade, the right side of the trade, regardless of volatility. Check out Online Trading Academy's The Right Side of the Trade, Thursday at noon on Money Radio 1510.
Are you thinking of selling your home? Well, this is Carol Royce of Keller Williams Realty EV with great news for you. I have over 700 buyers in my exclusive Buyers in Waiting program. The great news is I have more buyers, which means more money and a faster sale for you. I'm so confident your home will sell, I will guarantee it in writing. If your home doesn't sell, I will buy it for a price acceptable to you. Call me, Carol Royce, 480-776-5231, or go to carolhasthebuyers.com.
Hi, I'm Nick Grovich, host of Good as Gold, heard every Thursday at 1 p.m. on Money Radio. I have over 35 years of experience as a professional coin and bullion dealer, as well as a published author of 2 books that expose the inside workings of the rare coin market. Each week, I'm going to share with you my tips on how to safely invest in precious metals and what to do if you're one of the 90% that were sold overpriced rare coins. Tune in every Thursday at 1 p.m. as I host Good as Gold, exclusively on Money Radio 1510 AM and 99.3 FM.
Negative reviews and low search rankings drive customers to your competition. See how you stack up against the competition online. Go to freecriscore.com, promo code FREE.
Now back to Health Futures, taking stock in you. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Cypress Home Care Solutions, Bob Roth.
Welcome back. My name is Bob Roth, and you're listening to Health Futures, Taking Stock in You. And if you just missed the first segment, I've got Darryl Lerner, Community Liaison from Assisted Healthcare Services here in the studio. And you can catch this first segment up on our website at cypresshomecare.com. And you can catch the 75 others that we've done since the beginning of 2014. And Darryl, we left off when we took the break talking about home health and home care. And, you know, I said when we went for the break, I said that even clinicians and social workers lump us in as the same, and we're so distinctly different. And you were doing a great job of explaining the type of services that assisted home health or home healthcare services provides. And we provide some great services too, and you use the appropriate word, activities of daily living. I have this chart, and it really helps people understand how they're different. And I just want to take a second and walk our listening audience through this. You know, when you look at the difference between home care and home health, home care provides hourly or visit care. So we go in and we visit people, you know, it could be 8 to 12, it could be 7 to 7A, 7A to 7P, it could be 24/7. It really depends on what their needs are. The type of care home health provides is skilled intermittent care, and some people call it episodic care. You come in for the procedure, you come in for the therapy, you come in for whatever is necessary, and then that home health professional leaves. Home care partners with home health and hospice. We partner with assisted healthcare services because we know we can't do it all. And you guys partner with home care, knowing the same. In home care, there's no homebound requirement. As you described, there is a homebound requirement for you to receive home health services. In home care, there's no medical requirement. In home health, there is a medical requirement. Home care doesn't have physician orders. And in home health, you have physician orders. Length of service is determined by the client or family under home care, and length of service is determined by diagnosis or need in home health. Where services are paid for privately, long-term care insurance, or at Cypress Home Care, we take Medicaid. Yours is paid for by Medicare or private insurance.
Or managed care, correct, private insurance.
Private insurance, or, and I talked to you about it before we started the show, you probably do private duty, private pay, but healthcare services. Ours is assistance with meal prep, transportation, those activities of daily living that we described, light housekeeping, medication reminders, and you were describing physical therapy, occupational therapy, wound care, speech therapy, IV support, injections, and you're monitoring serious illnesses. And our goal is to assist and empower the individual and their family to meet the identified need. And your goal is to treat an illness or injury that will aid in regaining the strength, independence, and self-sufficiency so they can live at home. And I've said it here on the show. My vision is that home is going to be the center of care. We don't have enough independent living or assisted living facilities out there. We have an aging population of 10,000 people a day turning 65. Home has got to be it. And people like, or agencies like Assisted Healthcare Services and Cypress together can help people do that and make that the center of care.
Absolutely right, Bob. I couldn't agree with you more. I think it was about a year and a half ago, Medicare did a study looking at cost, and the average hospital stay is, once they're in the hospital, a transfer to the hospital admission is probably $17,000 on average in the United States. An average hospital stay per day is $3,000 or $4,000. You've got people that come home with home health. The average stay for a home health or average visit for a home health patient is about $145. A skilled nursing facility stay could be, per day could be anywhere from $500 to $800. So home health is definitely the most bang for the buck, and financially, it is a service that's covered by Medicare. A lot of people are unaware that they have that benefit. I meet people every week that are accessing their Medicare benefits, and they ask me, the first question they ask me, what is this going to cost me? And Medicare covers home health at 100%, which is really good for the patient. Financially, they have all these other copays and coinsurance,
yep.
From the hospital stay and from a skilled nursing facility. And the fact that this is a benefit, it's one of the last benefits under Medicare. It's a huge help financially for people to have this kind of service. Our goal is to help people get home. Our goal is, home health's goal is to help people hopefully get back to the previous level of functioning, whatever that is, or even better. Many of our patients who we discharge off of home health, some of them continue with therapy services, for example. They'll go outpatient and they'll continue, with their care plan. We're seeing people coming home from the hospital. They're discharging people, with higher acuities. They're sicker and sicker, with what they're coming home with. So about a year ago, my company upped our clinical capability. I think there are a lot of really good home health agencies in town. I feel very strongly that my company, Assisted Home Health, is definitely one of them. We have niches that other companies don't have, which is why we're partnering with so many different hospitals and ACO organizations are now recognizing the value of home health, keeping them out of the hospital. That's the main goal. That's the big buzzword today.
Absolutely.
Keeping them out of the hospital. What is your, everywhere I go every week, what's your rehospitalization rate? What's your rehospitalization percentage of the patients that come out of their facility, or as a company in general? We track all of that information. Right now as a company, in the month of August, we're at 3% return to hospital rate, which is an extremely low number. The Arizona average is 15%.
That was my next question.
The national average is 16%.
And you're at 3%.
We're at 3% as a company. There are parts of the valley in some facilities, some skilled nursing facilities in the East Valley, for example, we're at 1%. There's some hospitals that we're at 3 and 4%. So one of the reasons why we are so low is because of our niche programs that other home health agencies haven't incorporated yet into their services. One of them is a telehealth program for patients with CHF and COPD. So that's a very advanced, that's a diagnosis that causes a lot of recidivism, a lot of return to hospital. People have an exacerbation with CHF or COPD. They wind up back in the ER. They wind up back in the hospital.
And can you do me a favor? We throw acronyms around all the time. For our listening audience, what do those acronyms mean?
So CHF is congestive heart failure, and COPD is a description of obstructive pulmonary disease.
Okay, thank you.
So one is cardiac, which affects pulmonary, and one is pulmonary that affects cardiac. So we have a telehealth program. So a telehealth program means we give at no cost to the patient, we'll give a CHF or COPD patient a blood pressure cuff, a pulse oximeter to check their pulse ox.
And the pulse oximeter is something that goes right on the fingertip that checks the amount of oxygen that they are taking in.
And a scale and a thermometer. So
all Bluetooth enabled?
No, what we do is a nurse will call.
Okay.
We don't rely on technology. We want to actually talk to the patient.
Got it. I like it.
Right, person to person. So one of our nurses will call a telehealth patient every single day and ask them some questions. Did you weigh yourself? Did you take your medication? Do you have any symptoms? If somebody has symptoms or someone has a significant weight gain in a short period of time, it usually means they're about to have an acute episode. So we want to go in there. So there's a window of intervention to prevent that person from going back to the hospital.
Right.
So we'll send a nurse out right away. We'll call the doctor, ask if they want to check their labs. Last year, all of our nurses were certified in first dose, which means we can start an IV at home. We don't have to send the patient to the ER to start an IV. We can actually do it in the home with a doctor's order. And this is one of the niche programs that's really lowering our numbers. These are the, CHF and COPD patients are the ones that are, I think there's 5 diagnoses that Medicare looks at, and those are 2 of the 5 of the repeat offenders that go back to the hospital.
And by the way, those are the 5 that they initially came out with, but they're going to add to it, and those are the 2 significant ones, which, as you said, cause repeat offenders.
Yes.
CHPD and CHF, COPD.
Right. So assisted home health, that's one of our niche programs. Assisted home health takes care of ortho patients all the way up to a patient that goes home on a vent or a trach. So we do high acuity home health. So all of our patients get the higher skill set, the patients that receive care from higher level nurses and therapists. Every one of our patients has access to our high skilled therapists and nurses.
We're coming up on a break here. We're learning about assisted healthcare services and the amazing work that they're doing here in our community. We're up against a break here. My name is Bob Roth. I've got Darryl Lerner from Assisted Healthcare Services. We'll be right back.
As we reach the bottom of the hour, we pause for a look at the world's news. Then we're back with Money Talk. We're Money Radio 1510 and 99.3 FM.
In Florida, the National Guard is pre-positioning its people and equipment as Tropical Storm Erica heads its way. Governor Rick Scott has declared a statewide state of emergency. Here's meteorologist Jennifer Gray.
Right now it is moving west, south of Puerto Rico to the south side of the Dominican Republic. The problem with this storm is it has been very disorganized, and so models have had a very hard time getting a handle on where exactly the storm is going to go.
19-year-old Owen Labrie, a former student at New Hampshire's elite St. Paul's Prep, has been found guilty of sexually assaulting a 15-year-old girl, but not guilty of felony rape.
When that first guilty account was red. He broke down. He sees the severity of this, the seriousness of this, a young man going to divinity school, but Harvard University had accepted him, and now he is a convicted felon.
Correspondent Gene Caceres. I'm Jim Ascendio.
Call Quicken Loans now at 800-QUICKEN to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. And for 5 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And for the second year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
I spend my days helping others. It's rewarding, just not always financially. So I got TIAA CREF. They were founded to help people like me meet our financial goals. They've got so many industry accolades, it's unreal. I like taking care of people. Sometimes that even includes myself.
Intelligent investing for the long term. Just what you'd expect from a company that's created to serve and built to perform. Visit TIAA.org. TIAA CREF Individual Institutional Services, LLC. This testimonial is an act or betrayal. Investing involves risk. Individual results will vary.
A little good advice can go a long way. A long way toward meeting your retirement goals, that is. You'll get it right here on Money Radio every day.
Stock market corrections may seem like random occurrences, but the fact is, market corrections are bound to happen. But what if you could see the correction coming in advance? What if you could be prepared to short the market before it's too late? Don't get caught off guard. Become a philsgang.com member and get all the daily market information, investment strategies, and be prepared to make profits when the market is up or the market is down. You can do this for only $49.95 a month. Learn how to invest in the market, get daily coaching guidance on your investments, and take the first step of putting profits in your pocket. With philsgang.com, you just log on and get daily instructions on how to invest in the market. You don't have to worry about long-term contracts or hidden fees. Plus, all philsgang.com material is archived, so just log on and enjoy the ride to profits. philsgang.com. Go to philsgang.com or give them a call today at 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Are you concerned about having the money you'll need in retirement? Here's Ray Lucia Jr., chairman of Lucia Capital Group.
We understand why retirement planning can be so overwhelming. There's so much at stake, and you have so many decisions to make. And you don't do this every day, but we do. You'll probably never know what the retirement planning process is like until you take time to sit down with a financial advisor, map out a plan, and learn about your options. When you're concerned about whether you'll have enough money in retirement, we'll help you develop a strategy. Clients count on our experience, responsiveness, and ongoing oversight. You retire once. We retire every day.
Schedule a complimentary consultation with the Lucia Capital Group advisor today. Call 800-644-1150, 800-644-1150, or go to luciacap.com. luciacap.com.
Ray Lucia Jr. is the CEO of Lucia Securities LLC, member FINRA SIPC, a subsidiary of Lucia Capital Group and affiliate of Lucia Wealth Services. Strategies involve investing in securities which involve risk.
Toyota's once-a-year annual clearance event is on now. Get your Toyota today before they're gone. Visit a Valley Toyota dealer or valleytoyotadealers.com.
I'm Bruce Vail with Your Money Now. Consumer spending rose slightly in July as incomes continued to grow at a steady pace while underlying inflation remained tame. The Commerce Department said consumer spending, which drives about 70% of the country's economic activity, rose 0.3%, while personal income was up 0.4%. Walmart shoppers will be able to get a head start on holiday purchases this year. The world's largest retailer is kicking off its layaway program next Friday, 2 weeks earlier than last year. The timing shift coincides with the launch of the new Star Wars The Force Awakens merchandise, which goes on sale September 4th. On Wall Street, stocks have been mixed for the past several hours. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 55 points headed toward the close. The Nasdaq Composite is up nearly 3 points, while the S&P 500 is down just about 5 points. That's Your Money Now.
It's fall flooring season with incredible deals on the hottest styles right now at Lumber Liquidators Fall Flooring Kickoff Sale. Choose from over 400 great floors with over 20 laminate styles like American-made mahogany for just 49 cents a square foot. More than 30 bamboo floors like carbonized bamboo for only $159, and over 150 hardwood floors like pre-finished gunstock oak for only 99 cents. With $1 off Bellawood, 20% off Dream Home laminates, plus great floors, wood-like tile, vinyl, and more with 24-month special financing. The Fall Flooring Kickoff Sale is going on now. Visit LumberLiquidators.com to find a store near you.
Did you know that the average cost for a family of 4 to attend a professional baseball game is over $200? I'm Adam Canner, founder of ScoreBig.com. We found a way to work directly with teams and venues to get their unsold seats and pass the huge savings on to you. On ScoreBig.com, when you successfully name a ticket price, on average, you'll save over 33% below box office price each time you buy, with no added fees or shipping charges ever.
And now save even more at ScoreBig.com. Click on the radio mic and enter code 8282, and we'll take an additional $20 off your ticket purchase. That's ScoreBig.com, promo code 8282.
Now back to Health Futures, taking stock in you. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Cypress Home Care Solutions, Bob Roth.
Welcome back. My name is Bob Roth, and you're listening to Health Futures, taking stock in you. And we're on our third segment. I've got Darryl Lerner from Assisted Home Health here in the studio. He's the community liaison with them, and Assisted Home Health does some incredible services here. As we talked about in the first two segments, the difference between home care and home health care. Two distinct differences, but both of us are enabling our elderly population or anybody that is needing care to be able to age successfully in place. And as I said, I've talked about it on the show, I see a world where home is the center of care. And Darryl, I want you to really share with our listening audience, Assisted has gotten so many great accolades, and as you know, they won a number of different awards. I want you to take our listening audience through those things, and also I would love for you to pause and take a moment and talk a little bit about yourself. I know you're not comfortable talking about yourself, but I want you to talk a little bit about your background, because it really lends to your success over at Assisted, because you've got a great long-term care background in the elderly care business.
Thank you, Bob. So Assisted, it's a great company to work for. Assisted is a 25-year-old company. Assisted Home Health is a 25-year-old company. They're based in Thousand Oaks, California. We operate in California and in Arizona. Mm-hmm. We have 9 offices in California along the coast. We're a large agency in Arizona. We're probably one of the top 5 agencies in the whole state of California. We have a very big presence in California. There's I'll give you an example. There's a major medical facility in Los Angeles, Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. It's like double the size of St. Joe's in California, and we are one of their 4 preferred providers of home care at that facility. They were, I'll tell you, we were talking about return to hospital rates earlier, so they were operating, before we presented a pilot program to them last year, they were operating at about a 26% return to hospital rate. So like 1 in 4 patients that they were discharging, it's potentially millions of dollars in fines that they're going to experience down the road.
And lots of costs to the healthcare system.
Absolutely. So we launched an enhanced home health program at that facility, which is a 7-point program, and we, the patients are on this program for the first 2 weeks. So Medicare did a study about 2 years ago that found out nationwide the greatest chance, 58% chance of a patient going back to the hospital who discharges from a hospital or a skilled nursing facility, that's going to happen in the first 2 weeks of being home. So we designed and launched a pilot program at Cedars designed specifically for the first 2 weeks that a patient is home. So we took, with this enhanced home health program, and every one of our patients gets this program. It's not specific to a certain population or a certain group out of a certain facility. So we took Cedars-Sinai Medical Center from a 26% return to hospital rate down to 6.7% return to hospital rate.
Wow.
Right, millions of dollars in savings for them within the first 2 months of launching the program.
Wow.
They were so happy with that program that we launched over there. They made us one of the 4 home health agencies for the facility, and they made the other home health agencies implement the same program. We launched that same program here in Arizona the end of last year, last August, and it's been extremely successful. We're one of the only agencies in town that does this program. This is one of the reasons why our return to hospital rates are so low single-digit hospital rates. You compare us to, and it's really hard because no one will actually share with you, right? Most agencies won't share the true data of what their return to hospital rates are, right? Because usually it's because it's not very good. And no one wants to say anything negative about their own company. So right. If you ask, they give you a number, but where's the actual raw data? Where's the observational or experiential data that backs that up? And that's what we have. And when we present to a facility, a large hospital group or a hospitalist group, or a group that owns skilled nursing facilities, they look at the data and we share with them, who our partners are. And, they can call our partners and ask them, what's your experience been with assisted home health? What are the rehospitalization, what are the true rehospitalization rates? What are what's your overall experience? Do they get it? It's fun, people talk about this all the time. I used to have a friend that was the charge nurse at one of the ERs in one of the hospitals in North Phoenix, and one of my favorite expressions of his was, there are people in healthcare that get it, and there are people that just don't get it. The people that get it see the big picture. They realize it's about the patient. Take care of the patient. Do the right thing. The business will come. More people will follow. More people will see that you have the right vision, that you have the right goal or mission is to take care of the person. That's the most important person you want to take care of. The patient is the most important person. Everyone is so worried about, capturing a portion of the business, or we want this market share, we want this. If you just took care of the patient and did what you were, what you're assigned to do, what you're supposed to be doing, it will all fall into place with that higher purpose. Think about what the higher purpose is. Act with the higher purpose.
Absolutely.
And the business will come.
And you talked about data, and you talked about, this Cedars-Sinai experience, if you would, and how you've implemented it here and kept readmission down. There are bodies out there that rate companies. And Karen Schubert, your exec director, shared with me some of the accolades you've gotten. And certainly I would love for you to walk through that because, it's nice to be able to have empirical data internally, but it's nice to be recognized by governing bodies that audit home health care companies. So tell me a little bit about it, and tell our listening audience about some of the achievements that Assisted has received over its number of years.
If you, and I'm glad you mentioned that. And if you go to our website, assistedone.com, www.assistedone.com, some of the awards that we've won nationally are on the homepage of the website, and each of those awards are actually a hyperlink to that award website, and you can see what the criteria was or what the guidelines were to achieve that award. So one of our biggest awards that we're very, very proud of last year was the 5th year in a row that we won the Home Care Elite or Top Elite Award. In the home health world, that's like a 5-star rating for a facility. So Top Elite 500 or Home Care Elite 500 means we're one of the top 500 home health agencies in the United States, not just in Arizona, in the United States. So there's 28 criteria you have to score. I think it's it's very high, 97% or higher, in all 28 criteria. It's very stringent. They examine everything. They look at your outcomes. They look at your quality of care measures. They look at, what type of patients are you receiving? What's the the acuity level. I mean, there's a whole variety of things that are incorporated into that. So we're very proud of that. Last year was the 5th year in a row that we won the Top Elite 500. We also, last year was the 11th year in a row that we scored 100% on our Arizona State survey. 11 years in a row. 100%, zero deficiencies. Very, very difficult to achieve.
Just 1 year, but you've done it 11
years in a row.
So that means since 2004 or 2003.
Something like that, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible, Darryl.
Yeah. All of our nurse managers, our clinical supervisors, most of them come from the hospital setting. They have high acuity experience. They have higher knowledge about, healthcare and the healthcare delivery system for skilled nursing and therapy. The attitude is one of the mantras at the office is you either do it right or you don't do it. So our nurses, our clinical nurse supervisors, and our director of patient care services, Dana Kahn, her philosophy is let's do it the right way. Let's make sure it's all correct. Do the right thing for the patient. And our company in general, we strictly follow all the guidelines. All of our staff is trained in a particular way. So everything is laid out, everything is documented. Two of the big areas that they check on, the Arizona Department of Health checks on, is documentation and medication reconciliation. What that means is they want to make sure that everything is documented properly for all the services we're providing and all the medications we're helping our patients manage in the home.
And that's why you guys are receiving all these awards. It doesn't happen by accident. And, Darryl,
it's a lot of hard work to get that wheel to turn all the way around.
But you talked about the people, and I've had a chance to meet the assisted people. And really, at the end of the day, as an owner of an agency, I can tell you it's not me, it's my caregivers. As assisted home health, it's people like yourself that are out there promoting services, but better yet, it's the people that are out there doing it. Absolutely. And you guys hold your people to a higher standard.
I would have nothing to talk about if our nurses and therapists weren't the superstars.
We're up against a break here. I'm Bob Roth. You're listening to Health Futures. We'll be right back.
Learn how to get your estate in order Wednesday mornings at 9 on Estate Planning with attorney Matt Dana. With over 30 years of experience and expertise, Matt will share cutting-edge strategies, ideas, and tips on how to help secure your estate from life's unexpected events. Wondering how to protect and maximize your family's inheritance? Wonder no more. Listen to Estate Planning with attorney Matt Dana every Wednesday morning at 9, right here on Money Radio 1510 AM and 99.3 FM.
Are you retired or headed into retirement? Call Anil Vazirani and Secured Financial Solutions at 800-957-5604 extension 200 to learn how to maximize your Social Security and Medicare benefits and to potentially reduce taxes on your Social Security income. Call Secured Financial Solutions at 800-957-5604 extension 200 or on the web at www.theripa.com. Listen to Anil Vazirani on the Money Radio Show every Thursday at 9 a.m.
Most of the listeners of the station have a mortgage of some type. My question is, why? My name is Joe Capitano, Senior Vice President, Homeowners Financial Group. Think of what life would be like if you didn't have a mortgage, that extra cash each month to enjoy or to invest. And I can show you how to eliminate that mortgage in a fraction of the time without changing any of your current spending habits. It's so simple, it'll just amaze you. Call me today and let me get you back on the road to financial freedom. The interest savings alone could put your kids through college or maybe fund your retirement. Call me, Joe Capitano, 480-305-8545, 480-305-8545, or just go to joeloans.com. Back number 090-6222, MLS number 9826, Equal Housing Lender. That's Joe Capitano, 480-305-8545. That's Joe Capitano, 480-305-8545, 480-305-8545, or just go to joeloans.com.
Toyota's once-a-year annual clearance event is on now. Get your Toyota today before they're gone. Visit a Valley Toyota dealer or valleytoyotadealers.com.
Now back to Health Futures, taking stock in you. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Cypress Home Care Solutions, Bob Roth.
Welcome back. My name is Bob Roth, and you're listening to Health Futures, taking stock in you. Got a little Glenn Campbell to tee it up for the fourth segment. It's hard to believe that we're down to our fourth segment, Darryl. We're having a lot of fun here in the Scottsdale Air Park, coming at you live here on August 28th, the last Friday of August. And we're talking home health and home care. And really, we really devoted the first two segments to really talking about the differences. And this last segment, we really talked about home health, specifically assisted. And the accolades and the awards that you've gotten, the elite status, and the fact that you guys are CHAPS accredited, and the fact that you've 11 years, 100%, no deficiencies, all really, really good stuff. I also, you gave out in that last segment your website, and that is Assisted, and that's ASSISTED, the number 1.com, or they can call 480-818-0450. They can answer any of your questions and really anything that is home health related. Darryl, I would love to give our listening audience just a little bit about your background. I teed it up last segment, but we ran out of time. You're in the long-term care business for some time. You've been with Assisted for just a couple years.
2 years, correct.
Yeah, so I want our listening audience to know that we've got somewhat of a expert here in the studio here talking about long-term care. So please give us just a little bit of your background.
Well, I'm happy to be here. I don't know if I'm an expert. I'm learning every single day.
Thank you.
I worked for 12 years in outpatient rehab. I actually owned and managed an outpatient rehab for 12 years. And then I worked as a marketing director for a company that owns skilled nursing facilities. I did that for 6 years. And then I wound up, I was looking at, I always wanted to work in home health. I always thought it was a great field. And I made a change, and I'm so glad that I did. Assisted Home Health is not only is it one of the best home health companies in the Valley, it's one of the best companies I've ever worked for. So, and I can honestly say that to you. It's the group of caring people and the culture of the organization that I work for, I can't say enough about. A lot of people say that they work for a great company, but when I see people going above and beyond every single day, I have, there's nurses that they'll do something extra for a patient, or I have, there are therapists for our company, for example, that we have patients that can't afford, certain DME equipment if they have to pay privately or their insurance doesn't cover it. We have therapists that will actually go to, thrift stores and go and get a wheelchair, or they'll get a walker, they'll get something, going out of the way, going above and beyond. Those are the everyday heroes, what I like to call it. Everyone talks about everyday heroes. These are the everyday heroes, the people in the field, the nurses and the therapists that are doing this on a daily basis. Something else, one of the messages I want, because I get confronted with this, almost on a weekly basis. The most important thing for someone to do when they're deciding on a provider, a healthcare provider, make an informed decision. A lot of patients who are coming out of nursing homes or hospitals, they have a list put in front of them of 20 names or even 10 names.
Exactly.
And it's like a gauntlet. And they don't, what distinguishes one from the other? How do you make a good decision? I think the best decisions are informed decisions. Go to the website, Google some of these names of these companies, go to their website, see what it's about. I mean, there's some generic information, but there are, for instance, Medicare has a website.
Thank you. I was going to ask you to do that.
Medicare.gov. Look at what the company. Look at their record with Medicare. Do they have any infractions? What's their rating? How do they compare?
And you can also contact the Arizona Department of Health Services too.
And the Arizona Department of Health Services. That's a great. Hopefully someone has family members or other friends that are helping them advocate for them. Self-advocacy is great. A lot of people can't advocate for themselves. They need someone to help them do that. So if anyone who's listening, not just a potential patient, but anyone who's a family member or a caregiver or a friend of someone that that needs home health or will probably need home health, make an informed decision. Help them find the best care and services. Everyone deserves the best. Everyone's a VIP. Everyone deserves to be taken care of for the best possible outcome. And the way to do that is to find a good provider. There's a lot of providers, but there's a handful, I think, of good providers. And I think that's with every type of, service provider, healthcare service provider. Some are good, some are great.
Right. We have about 125 home health care companies in the state of Arizona, of which approximately 80 reside right here in Maricopa County. In home care, we have over 700 right here in Maricopa County.
Wow,
so you're so right. I mean, informed decisions, do your homework. And, on the home care side, one of the things I always tell, people that are looking for services, ask for references. ask to talk to, some, previous clients or clients that are experiencing the services. I mean, there's no better testimonial. I mean, up on our website, we have video testimonials.
And ask questions.
Yes.
What sets you apart?
And what sets you apart? It's a great segue into something I finished up, I believe it was the second segment on. And we didn't really touch much about it on the third segment, and that is the people. And, you and I can only do so much, but it's the people that stand behind us, the caregivers in my case, you, the clinicians, the therapists, the nurses, the social workers. They're the ones that make the difference. I made the appeal at the beginning of our show today, asking for people to call Cypress if you know somebody that is wanting to make a difference in someone's life. And I think, one of the things you and I talked about, too, is that you're challenged with finding good talent as well. And, if you're listening in and you happen to know someone that's a nurse or a therapist, social worker, clinician, somebody that wants to make a difference in someone's life, Assisted is hiring people, are they not?
We are actively hiring.
Yeah, so, definitely reach out to Assisted, assisted1.com and 480-818-0450. Darryl, it's hard to believe we're done. So tell me, what do you got planned for the weekend?
Oh, I'm going to try to. We're going to try to get outside a little bit. I know it's so hot and humid. My kids love to swim, so we're going to try to do as much swimming as possible. It's an opportunity, of course, to be with my beautiful children. I have a 7-year-old and a 12-year-old.
Nice.
And my wife and I, we both work, and the weekend is the opportunity to spend time with the family.
Well, I like it. And, my wife and I were experiencing for the first time being empty nesters. So I'm kind of jealous that you're doing that and, enjoy those children. I know you hear it all the time. In a heartbeat, they're grown up. They are grown up. And, to your point about the weather, it's nice that we're wrapping up August, and I'm waiting for that cooler weather. Can't get here soon enough. Darryl, I really appreciate you being on the show, and I appreciate you helping our listening audience to really understand not only Assisted, but understand what home health is all about, and really giving them great advice in terms of, how to really make a decision and really how to choose the right provider and ask the right questions. And at the end of the day, that's what it's really all about.
I first of all, thank you for letting me be on the show. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I'm very passionate about what I do. If anyone has any questions, they can call me, 480-818-0450. I'll be happy to answer any questions that they may have. And if I don't have the solution, I will help them find the solution.
Darryl Lerner from Assisted Home Health, Bob Roth from Cypress Home Care Solutions. You've been listening to Health Futures, taking stock in you. Make it a great day and have a great weekend.
There's no place like home. You've been listening to Bob Roth's Health Futures. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call Cypress Home Care Solutions at 602-264-8009. That's 602-264-8009. Or visit CypressHomeCare.com. Be sure to join Health Futures with Bob Roth every Friday at noon, right here on Money Radio 1510 and 99.3 FM.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ray Lucia, and I talk about your money, your business, and your life right here on the radio. So if you happen to have any money-type questions, well, worry not. That's because I'm here to provide you with the most sound financial advice in the country. So tune in to the Ray Lucia Show every weekday, 10 to 11 a.m., right here on Money Radio 1510 a.m. and 99.3 FM.
Tune in every Wednesday at 10 a.m. for Precious Timber with Alex Wilson on Money Radio 1510 a.m. and 99.3 FM.
Money Radio 1510
and 99.3 FM.
Is KFNN Mesa Phoenix and K257CD Phoenix. Being at this year's Money Radio Financial Fest could be one of the best things ever for your business. Check at exhibitor information at financialfest.com. Dow is down 17 points now. The S&P is flat and the NASDAQ up 14.
When people want to talk about money, this is the place they come to. And there's more on the way after this break for the latest news. And we begin